Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode on Supernegotiate. I have a question for you to start with. Can really a center of excellence in procurement, which has no tools whatsoever, compete with a one which is fully loaded with all the latest gizmos available in the market? My answer is absolutely yes, because I think it's not about the tools. Because I think it's all in the use case, how you can really implement your use case, how you can use the data. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you as part of this series. So let's jump right into it. So while the idea is fascinating, and as I said, I firmly believe you can definitely set up an advanced center of excellence that can beat a fully loaded one any single day. And we will break this down into 3 steps. The first part of this video is going to be how you can set up the basics right. The second video will be about how you can graduate from a basic setup to something called manage by exceptions setup. And the last part or last video would be how you can really step up your game and beat a fully loaded setup any single day. So let's get started with the first one. And I call this as get your basics right. As part of the getting your basics right, I want you to establish 4 houses. The first house is called the operational activities house. The second house is your strategic activities house. The third house is your Watchtower house. And the fourth house is about supplier management house. Now, I will take it really slow. The first house, which is about setting up your operational house in the Center of Excellence setup. I'm going to give you a couple of examples, but I want you to focus on 3 things as part of this operational house. 1. Look at the volume of everything that you're doing. 2nd, look at the times, the cycle times of anything that you're doing. 3rd, look at the impact from financial perspective or a dollar value of everything that you're doing. To give you an idea, when I talk about volumes, I want you to go and figure out for each and every product or category you are buying, how many suppliers do you have? What is the total spend? What are the number of POs your buyers are generating? What is the actual invoices you are getting as part of this operational house in order? The second aspect is the time. I want you to know PR to PO cycle time. What's your response time of fulfilling a requirement? What is the lead time for each and every product category? What is the payment turnaround time that you are able to pay off your supplier? And there can be many cycle times involved. I'm only giving you a couple of examples. The last part is about the financials. So as everyone said, how much saving per category you are able to generate. The second one, what's your budget and what's your actual? Trust me, getting the visibility on budget versus actual for each and every sourcing event is a bigger problem for a matured center of excellence. So now we are designing something new. So let's ingest this requirement right into the first step itself, and you will love the insights later on. Now, the idea about setting this operational house in order is to get clarity on what you're dealing with. Secondly, by getting the insights from the volume and the time, you can actually find automation opportunities, which I will show you in my next to next video, how you can leverage this insight. So that's pretty much about on the operational house. I want to now move on the second one, which is strategic activities house. And this is really one. This is the one where you can really start yourself to differentiate from what eventually advanced Procurement Center of Excellence will be. Under this strategic activities house, I want you to figure out 1, which are the categories where you have strong level of negotiation. Which are the categories where you have, let's say, low leverage available for negotiation, and I call it as strong hand versus weak hand. Then I also want you to compile the top 10 commodities that impacts the procurement cost the most. As an example, if I am buying a chemical, or if I'm into tire manufacturing industry and I'm a commodity manager, I want you to know the price of crude oil, I want to know the impact of natural rubber, carbon black, chemicals, so on and so forth. Now I want you to think about your top 10 commodities. I want you to go and put some mechanism in place so that you can monitor them weekly. Most important, and this is the key, I want you to know, not specifically, but at least have some idea, if your commodity A moves up by 10%, how much, just by how much in terms of range, your final procurement cost gets impacted. Let's say if carbon black goes up by 10%, what is your impact in terms of procurement cost as a portfolio? Get this clarity. And the last one in terms of strategic house is about inventory management. Now it becomes an operational activity, but I want you to apply the strategic filter. You don't want to monitor every inventory. I want you to identify your strategic categories and just answer in 3 terms. Whether you want to maintain the inventory for next 3 months or 6 months, or you want to increase the inventory, or you want to decrease the inventory. Now this decision can be based upon your consumption, can be based upon your demand, or let's say can be based upon change in the macroeconomic environment. Have this view, a really simple view. Are you in a inventory build up mode, inventory maintain mode, or inventory depletion mode? This strategic activity house is, I would call, a powerhouse. When implemented carefully and successfully, can give you huge advantage when you're going for a negotiation, because that dictates how aggressive or how strong I will be when demanding for my price decreases or other terms and conditions in an active negotiation. Let me know if you want a dedicated video where I will show you, using a peer-to-peer transaction, how you can specifically design the KPI for each of these 4 houses. But for now, that's it for this video. My name is Gaurav, and thank you for watching these videos. It means a lot to me. I'll see you in the next one.